All right, thanks everybody. Just to kick things off, let's start with the bonuses. The fight of the night was obviously Islam and Volk. Performance bonuses go to Jack Della, and Yair. The gate tonight broke the Australian arena record, so highest grossing event for any arena in Australia across any content, concerts, sports, exhibitions, whatever. The attendance was 14,124, fully sold out, with a gross total in Australian dollars of 5,911,598. Two transports tonight, Pedro and Seamus. And that's it from my side. Any questions from you guys?
Yeah,
Mike?
right here. Well, phenomenal crowd tonight. I mean, you've been all over the world and seen so many of these events. Where does tonight's rank in your pound-for-pound list?
I mean, pound for pound best, pretty high on the list. I mean, the place was deafening. Like, I feel like I've been at listen to my voice, I feel like I've been at like a Metallica concert just sitting in front of the speakers. It was great. It was great. We went through, a few of us in the back, just going through some of the really memorable events over the last, 12 months at least, and thinking about London last March and Paris, a few of the Vegas events, and this is right up there. It was loud. I think it was 50% full before the first fight happened, and then 90% full during the prelims, early prelims. So it was an incredible week after not having been here for over 3 years. And one of the things that, we've got this relationship with the Tourism Western Australia, TWA, and we do a lot of work trying to figure out, the impact of the event, right? There's a lot of discussions around the impact from an economic perspective, how many people are coming to Perth, and not only do we have an out-of-state ticket purchase percentage of about 68%, but we had thousands of people that are coming to Perth even without a ticket. So I think how much this event was coveted across the country, I think is a testament to how far mixed martial arts has come, all across the country, not just WA, and something that certainly gives us so much confidence coming back, hopefully as soon as possible.
Yeah, and this is kind of two questions in one. When are you looking at a return? And Alex, in his post-fight interview, said something, I believe it was really loud, about Adelaide and Yair. Did he
say Adelaide?
Yeah, did he tip something off there? Or?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so because we haven't made a decision yet on what the next event is. But just in speaking to Mick just now, I mean, the brilliance of just these guys and the way they put the card together and thinking about the opportunities for not only other Aussie athletes and where they're going to compete in the next 6 months, but the fact that Yair's had such a brilliant performance and now he's up against Alex. I mean, you basically got UFC Countdown sort of produced already with all the footage that came out of those two fights. So not sure the timing of our return or the timing of that event in particular, that fight in particular, but we will definitely be here at some point again this year.
Well, what about the flip side of that? You now have, I know Yair's an interim champion, but two Mexican champions essentially. Is there a possibility of going back to Mexico and maybe bringing Yair there for this fight? Yeah,
I mean, Lawrence has been talking about that for a while. I mean, we want to get the Performance Institute open. We announced that earlier this week, the Performance Institute in Mexico City, and I'm not really sure about the timing, probably later this year, but at some point or in and around that launch or in that opening, it's going to make sense to go to Mexico City.
Last thing for me, kind of away from that little location question, any updates on Canada? Is the Canadian asking here? Are we going to get there anytime soon?
Two good buds just chatting.
Yeah, tell me, no one's watching.
Yeah, no, there's no update. We've got nothing to report at the moment, but we've been very clear. I think every time that we've chatted, it's only a matter of weeks probably until we announce something.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey. Looking back when dominant champions fought in their hometown, like when Stipe won in Cleveland and he never went back, people always thought, like, why did we never go back to Cleveland with Stipe? Can you bring Alex anywhere else outside of Australia after witnessing what we did tonight?
I mean, I think there's, one of the things that Hunter was mentioning in the back was the fact that, like, stock's never been higher. So it wasn't even a Pyrrhic victory, right? Like, because he didn't seem to take a ton of damage. I know he was on the ground quite a bit. But the fact that his stock rose by virtue that he took Islam 5 rounds, I'm sure a ton of people had on their scorecards that he was up 3-2 and not down 3-2. So I think we can take him wherever. Now, if the question is, does it make most sense to always have him here, then yeah, there's a big argument for the impact that he made across the country this week. Our pay-per-view buys in Australia were trending to be bigger than our pay-per-view buys in Australia when Conor fought, right? So the impact of Volk and numerous others, including Jack Daly, who had like an incredible performance as well. I think it makes a lot of sense to come back, right? We're still in this world of this is one of our principal pay-per-view territories around the world, and so from a promoter standpoint, it's important to have him in an area where he can make the most impact, not only from a brand perspective, but also so we can continue to reach new high water marks on the revenue side.
And on the flip side of that, I know you don't make the matchups or anything, but at what point do you start bringing like non-Australian superstars onto these cards? Like as much as they love Jack and Rob and Ty and Alex, like I'm sure people here would love to watch like Jorge Masvidal fight or like Leon Edwards fight. Like at what point do you bring non-Australian stars here?
I mean, we look at it as it's a luxury that we've got so many competitive and so many high-quality Australian athletes, and you see the impact. I mean, the Yair and Emmett fight was great, but it was an incredible fight. It didn't have the same resonance with the crowd as the rest of the Aussies competing or the Kiwis competing. So how long? I mean, we had Rousey in home, and I'm trying to think. You can put me on the spot. Fatigued after this event, man. I feel like I've just gone 5 rounds with Islam. I think there's a real opportunity. There's one thing you saw that over the years you can sense that the understanding and appreciation for mixed martial arts has continued to rise almost every time we've come back, right? And there were just small kind of nuances, slight adjustments in position, slight holds on attempted subs where if someone made that move, the fan base almost unanimously started to cheer, right? They understood exactly what was happening in a very precise and acute way. And I think that's a testament to how far the sport has come here. So could we bring other global stars? 100%. But when you've got great Australians or New Zealanders that can compete, it also makes sense. Like it's almost been an embarrassment of riches, right? Like you've had, Izzy and Rob and Volk and Ty and, the list goes on. We're in this really great period of mixed martial arts in Australia.
I don't know if this is you're the right guy for this question necessarily, but a lot of fans are saying that ticket pricing is crazy for events like this, events like London. I'm curious, is that something that you guys set, or is that Ticketmaster dynamic pricing we've heard about a lot recently, and how much do you have to do with those prices?
Yeah, I mean, we scale the venue, right? But we scale the venue based on data points and education on what the market can bear at the moment. Did it make sense to bring this fight to Optus, to the stadium here? I mean, possibly. There's probably 5,000 or 10,000 people that came to the city that didn't have tickets. So could we have scaled up to 30 or 40? I think the demand would have been there. It obviously would have changed the average ticket price. But I think there was an opportunity, given the demand, just to scale it appropriately. So this is driven by our knowledge of what the market can bear at the moment.
I just wanted to know, where does Australia rank in terms of countries that you have to work with in bringing events? Australia, for its size, seems to get relatively quite a lot of UFC events. Is it because the government is so transparent with working with you guys, tourism? Like, what actually makes it so easy? So, working with state governments in this country in more of a partnership way is a relatively new thing. And I think the affinity and the interest and the desire for like global events, whether it's sports or music or food or fashion festivals, whatever it might be, is heightened in Australia because one, people love events in this country, and two, like it's far, right? It takes a lot to it's helpful for promoters or other managers of tours or sports events, to make it here. It wasn't long ago that we were fighting or working with to educate state governments around the health and safety protocols and practices that we've got in our sport, why the octagon is a better, field of play than a boxing ring. And so a lot of that work and that education, I think, has gone into the development of just the understanding of our sport, right? We want to work closely. We've always talked about this concept of running to regulation to ensure that not only are we working with state governments to educate them about our sport, but also about the proper rules that govern mixed martial arts here. So I think recently there's been, much more constructive and productive conversations with local governments around how we can partner on events. And this week, working with the Tourism Western Australia was a good example of that. And if I could just ask you a question, once again, I don't know if you're the right guy for this either, but When Islam commented on the lack of promotion for this event, do you know what? Because obviously it was huge. Like, you heard it tonight. Everyone's talking about it. People that don't have tickets are watching it somewhere. Do you know why he might have thought that?
I have no idea. I mean, I haven't talked to him about it. I don't know the root cause of that. What I do know is that, this is one of these events, and Dana and Sean and Mick and Hunter have been talking about it for months. Like, you don't get many opportunities to have the pound for pound number 1 and 2 together, right? Like, it's an overused cliche, but the stars really do need to align, right? You've got to have the right athletes at the right time of their careers. You've got to have, a venue that makes sense, right? To bring it to Australia was absolutely perfect for us. And then you've obviously got to have at least weight classes where they're within one weight class of each other. And so this was the perfect circumstance where you've got two guys that and it turned out to be an absolutely brilliant fight. So I'm not sure what the impetus or sort of the cause or the objective of those comments were. I certainly didn't agree with it.
Thank you.
Can I just ask over here, Mitch from over here. We're really excited over in WA about Jack Della Maddalena. We just saw, he's not a one-trick pony, gone from knockouts to now submission. Where does the UFC sort of see him in the next 12 months? And he says he wants a top 15 welterweight now.
So it's a tough conversation or tough topic for me to comment on because it's not, within my purview. I know talking to Sean and Mick, I mean, these guys think that he's the real deal. What that means on his next bout, I've got no idea. Will he get a top 15? I mean, I think his performance, like Randy Brown's no joke. I think his performance tonight probably warrants something like that, but not for me to comment. But I think it's a pretty safe bet that he's going to continue to rise up the ranks.
And you just spoke about, this stadium or this arena, and how full it was. Jack sort of mentioned that one day his dream is to hold a big fight here. We've got a big stadium down the road that can seat close to 50. I know it's outdoors. Mm-hmm. Is something like that even possible for somewhere over here, considering what you saw tonight?
You've got good precedents in this country, right, with a couple in Melbourne, Etihad, Marvel. So we're not going to rule it out. At some point, it might make sense. We don't do a lot of them. We've done sort of 5 or 6 in the past. But, if there's one country that can handle it, it's probably this country.
Thanks.
Does having such successful events in Australia detract from the likelihood of there being events in New Zealand? Because Australia's just more scalable?
No, I mean, our events in New Zealand have been incredible. Yeah, no, not at all.
When would be the likelihood of the next kind of event coming in New Zealand?
Could be this year. Yeah. I mean, we're trying to, from event perspective, and I've spoken to a few guys about this in the past few months, I mean, we are getting back to pre-COVID levels in terms of the proportion of international events that we have on our overall. We're not going to get all the way back there this year, but we will get back there at some point in the next year or two, and that likely means 2 or 3 events in Australia and New Zealand every year.
Cool, thank you.
No worries.
Just one more. Going off that, once you do get back to pre-COVID levels, once you say, as you hope, how many UFC events do you think would still be at the Apex?
That's a good question. I think the Apex is always going to be in the mix now. It makes a lot of sense. We kind of turn off the lights and lock the doors when the event's over. And it's, it makes sense from an ease of operations. It also makes sense as a good fallback plan. Like if we have something that just doesn't work out in a venue, or if it's tough to get to a certain city we want to get to, we can always go to the Apex. I think there's a lot of advantages to it. So I don't know the number, but I think it'll always be in the mix. We really appreciate everyone's support. It's huge for us to come back to Australia, and it's really important for us to put on a good show. And I think the work that you guys all did was incredibly helpful in promoting the event across the country and around the world. We're pretty excited with the results this week, not only in the Octagon, but outside. And so appreciate all your support, guys. Thank you.
Alex. You dared to be great tonight. It didn't, go your way, but it was a very, very close fight. Do you feel that you won, or how did you feel about the scorecards?
Look, man, it was a close fight, so what can you do? I'm the type of person that, I could have done more, so I'm a bit harder on myself. A lot of people probably, a lot of people counted me out, so they're like, oh, hey, wow, like, you know what I mean? But I was never counting myself out. I expected to win, so I'm disappointed. I know I could have done more. Could have capitalised on the things earlier as well. I did think he was going to be stronger, and I probably could have done more earlier. But anyway, what do you do? Credit to him. Well-rounded, yeah. I underestimated his strike, and he underestimated my wrestling and stuff like that. So, what do you do? Mixed martial arts, yeah. We at least we threw it all out there.
Yeah, I mean, in that fifth round, like it was, right there for you. Is that just one of those things? If you felt like you had another round or some more time on the clock?
Yeah, of course. I felt like maybe I could have done that earlier. Like I said, there was positions where I was like, he's not strong. I even said in my corner, you'll probably hear it. I'm like going, he's not strong. I'm not being a dick. I wasn't being disrespectful. I was just like, oh, he's not strong. But maybe he's baiting me. Maybe he's waiting for me to do something. So I didn't capitalise it straight away, which I should have. And I started realising that later on. I was like, fuck. Excuse my language. Could have done more. And then, like, I'm going to try and get him down, you know what I mean? And then we end up getting there, scrambles. I was like, fuck it, let's go all out. I reckon I can do something on top here as well. So I did that. But, maybe I could have done that earlier, maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, I'll watch the fight, do some research. But, yeah, it's pretty clear that, I could have won that fight. That's why I'm hard on myself.
Did he have you hurt at all at any point? Like some of the
I
shots
hurt? I don't know.
landed
I think I dropped to a knee or something. Like I said, I was there the whole time. So me saying that, wasn't a knockdown wouldn't be fair. But, I was there the whole time. Like, I think I come back with a punch straight away. Like, so, yeah. Again, I'm not going to make excuses when it comes to things like that. Yeah, I was sweet. So, anyway.
Yeah, and the last thing for me, I'm sure they'll get into, the fight with Yair and that business. But you did mention in the cage, I'll be back at lightweight. Is it your hope that Islam continues to defend and whenever you come back, he's still the guy there?
I'll watch the fight anyway. I'll watch the fight and see what it was like. I'm hearing that he was saying, I heard a whisper, I could be wrong, that he was going back to his corner saying he wants a rematch because he thought he lost. So that's funny. I'm going to jump on that. Rematch.
Thanks, Alex.
Where'd you hear that he wanted a rematch? Who told you that?
I don't know. Was it wrong? No, I don't know. I did hear whether he said that, whether he thought that he might have lost that if it did. I don't know. I just heard that from someone, but I'll watch the fight. We'll see.
And you said you underestimated his striking. Maybe what exactly?
No, not really. Like, obviously, I knew he's got a good eye. He's got a good eye, so he sees things okay, so he can counter. It's like his feet doesn't function as good as his eye. So it's like his eyes want to do something, like, his punches will do something because he can see it, but then his legs can't keep up. But, yeah, that was enough to land some here and there. So it went too hard. That's why, because he probably wasn't based enough. I shouldn't be telling him these things. But yeah, he still landed. So good on him. There was an elbow. I ran straight in. I'm like, nice. He's seen that. Again, his eye's not too bad. He's got a good eye. His distance isn't too bad. Again, I could have capitalised more, man. Even in the, I guess I was just expecting him to be a bit more relentless in the shots. So maybe held back just a little bit till the last round, I guess.
And we saw you talking to him throughout the entire fight.
Yeah.
Like even when he had your back, you were talking to him while you were punching him. What were you saying? Was he talking back?
Look, again, when you're in positions like that, I'm not being a dick. I'm not being disrespectful, but, it's getting his head, you know what I mean? Like, even when he had me, I'm like going, well, you're not that strong. Like, I'll say stuff like that. And then he's there. I'm going, what, you're just hanging on? I'll go, you said 15 seconds. I'm going to, you're going to drag me deep waters, that type of stuff. I remember that stuff. I was like, you're just hanging on for dear life. So it's just stuff like, again, I'm not being disrespectful. He's still in a good position, so it's up to me to get out of there. But I'm going to get in his head and just kept punching him in the head, saying, Again, I guess a body lock is a dominant position, so the refs can't just leave, even though he was just hanging on and trying to hide his head. But yeah, so just let him know as I go on. Yeah, look at you, just trying to survive in certain positions. That was all I was saying.
I have to ask what you thought of Yair Rodriguez's performance. You obviously said you want to drop back down and unify. He pulled off the submission, went over Josh Emmett.
Yeah, we'll see. But of course, so it was a good win by Yair. He looked sharp on his feet. Caught him a couple of times, rocked him a couple of times, and and caught him in the triangle. So I was training at that stage, but yeah, good on him. Like I said, you know, I'm not a selfish guy. I'm all about building things up. Now we got a guy, right? There's a guy in 45 that, you know what I mean? There's a guy that deserves that shot, and it's clear, and that's what I wanted. But we'll see what's happening.
Alex, going
So
back
congratulations to you.
going back
Yeah, or is it yeah? I always say yeah. Yeah. I thought everyone else was saying it wrong.
going back to the fourth round where you had your back for ages. Okay, it is a dominant.
It was fourth round, that one?
Yeah. It is a dominant position, but like you said, it wasn't trying to advance, wasn't really going for submissions, was just kind of trying to avoid your shots. Is there a length of time where after which the referee should possibly consider separating it?
I ain't a ref, so I don't know. If he's trying, I don't even think he was trying to go for submissions at that stage because he knew I could just get my head to the. So, like I said, yeah, I don't know. Again, it's a strong position. It should always be up to the person. Again, I'm the type of. That's just me, right? Like, I could sit there and be like, oh yeah, whatever. But for me, I was like, you know, instead of me fucking, which this is how everyone should be. Instead of me trying to blame the fucking ref, I blame myself because I should have got myself out of there. You know what I mean? So. I don't know the ref's rules, however that is, but again, I'm more harsh on myself, not the ref for things like that.
Obviously, in moments in the clinch against the cage, it looked like you were going for the takedown yourself. I'm curious, was that just because you felt, oh, I can do something here? Or was there?
He was just trying to go for. He was going for position, put himself out of position. Again, I could have got some of those. Man, like I told you, I'm fucking strong. Like I'm telling you, I could have definitely got more takedowns if I really wanted, but I guess I was second guessing myself in sort of positions, but yeah, I don't know. It just they were there, so it's just to let him know he's out of positions. Like, don't fucking think you're just gonna hold me in these positions. Like, it doesn't work like that with me. So as soon as I'll do that and then grab the body, like he would, like, you know, obviously freak out and be like, oh shit, I'm out of position, go sit back, and just me letting him know. And again, I could capitalise more, but. Well,
Do you think he's got a bit more respect for Australian wrestling now?
I think he does, yeah. But I mean, again. I could have done more.
Last one from me. I know you're going to be super hard on yourself and say you could have done more and stuff like that. The concept of pound for pound's a weird thing, right? It's like, oh, if you're the same size with your current skill set, who wins that fight?
Well, that's the thing. He put the title on the right line, right? Which is, like, we'll fight for his title. But I mean, pound for pound, like, you know, like, let's remember pound for pound. It goes a size, and why do you think I was a massive underdog and stuff like that? But at the same time, I expected to win, so I ain't going to sit there and be like, oh, he was bigger and all that. I was like, yeah, you went up to fucking lightweight, of course. You know what I mean? No, that's expected. But pound for pound is a funny thing. You know, me going out there and winning would have showed just why, you know, I'm that pound for pound, you know what I mean? But you could see that I could definitely win that fight. I definitely want that fight back.
Is it going to be hard for you to go motivate yourself to fight a featherweight when you know Islam's there, he's got the title, and you know how close you could have been and what you could have done? It's going to be hard.
No, look, you know, I want that fucking lightweight belt. So,
Alex, just over here.
no,
On
I should have known the voice. Sorry, mate.
all good. Or on the strength, and you saying like, you know, he wasn't maybe as strong as you expected. I am curious, where does he rank in terms of like strongest opponents you've faced? Because obviously you faced so many different divisions.
I don't know. He's probably still up there. But I mean, it's just funny. The narrative, like, you know, everyone wanted to push this crazy narrative. I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking run with it. Let you think he's invincible, but it just would have been a so much better story if I won, right? So, sadly, I wish I could just sit there going, hey, this invincible man, you know, you want to push out? I told you, you know, but right now I'm not in that position. But we're close, and again, very winnable fight. I've got to watch the fight back. I don't know. Again, I'm my hardest critic. I always am. I fucking blow the water out. Like, I win massive fights, and I still remember that one time I got hit. I still remember that, you know, one time I didn't get something, or, you know what I mean? That's just how I am. You know, I'm very, very, I'm very, very harsh on myself and hard on myself. So it'll be good to watch that fight back and just see how it is. Like, what's everyone's thought on that? Like, was it a close fight? Like, I don't know.
It was a very close fight.
Okay, so I've got to go watch that back. 3-2 either way. Yeah, I've got to watch that fight back. Fucking rematch. Let's go. What are they?
So I guess on that, I know one of the narratives, especially like Islam said, look, I want to prove that this guy doesn't belong in the lightweight division, right? Obviously, it's just pre-fight talk, but I wonder, after having such a close fight, do you think you've established that you do belong in the lightweight division?
Like, obviously, he got me in positions and stuff like that. But again, some of those is more technique and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, it was more that. It wasn't power. Like, you know what I mean? Like, again, I've got to watch the fight, but yeah, I didn't feel like this freakishly power like type of thing. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's got that size advantage and things like that. That's gonna help him a little bit. And you know, you might feel that little bit of that weight and like fatigue. I didn't get fatigue. Obviously, I come back stronger in the end anyway. But there is that weight advantage. But I mean, to say that I can't handle lightweight is just ridiculous. He's meant to just blow everyone out the water. He was meant to just as soon as he grabbed me down, it was game over. I told you that wasn't going to happen. I told you I was going to do more, and you know, I told you I'll get back up. I told you that he won't submit me and all that type of stuff. I was right, but I did say that I was going to come out with my hand raised, and we were very close. It was a very close fight. People maybe thought I won, but the judges didn't. So I'm very hard on myself right now.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
And Alex, is it to your right? Is it motivating, or does it sting a little bit more to lose that fight on points but finish on top?
Nah. Just losing, man. Like losing in general. I'm a winner. I try and win everything I can. You know what I mean? And you know, I kill myself in the gym to prepare myself to get my hand raised. And yeah, I expected to be on top or be putting more hands on him and dominating the whole way through. So yeah, I'm not happy with just ending up on top.
And
I would have been happy with my hand raised.
And can you just put into words the support you've had from Australia this fight week, and especially tonight?
That was incredible. Obviously, everyone was still, happy with the fight, and still, obviously give me the mad cheers, and that was, it was good. I was obviously trying to rile them up as well, have a bit of fun with it, and just remember I was here, so involve them as well, like let them know I'm hearing them and thank them, and try and put on a bit of a show for them. But it would have just been better getting my hand raised in front of them too, you know what I mean? So again, their support's been crazy. Look at the weigh-ins and the press conferences and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't happen much. We had to take us all the fighters backstage so we can open the curtains further back so we can fit more people in. And you know what I mean? It's so obviously it went beyond what people expected. So shout out to the Aussie fans for delivering.
G'day, Alex, over here, mate. Great performance. Over just here, mate. Hey. Look, obviously, 145. How you going, mate? 145 defence is next, clearly, and then maybe the rematch with Islam. But if that doesn't line up for the title shot, are you willing to maybe jump into 155 and fight guys like, Dustin Poirier, Charles, Michael Chandler, these types?
Quick turnaround for the rematch for the weekend. Yeah, we'll see, man. Again, I need to watch the fight. I need to talk to some people, and again, right now, I just come out. I'm hard on myself. I don't know. I got to look and see what's happening. So, yeah, we'll see. But obviously, we got. When I go to featherweight, we know who it is. You know what I mean? And again, shout out for Yair Rodriguez. I think that's an exciting fight. So good on him.
And also, I think the great thing about this sport compared to, say, boxing is a loss doesn't always detract from your star power. So you come up short today a little bit, but I reckon your stock has risen even higher than it's ever been. So do you feel that? And just you've really proven that you really are even better than we thought you were.
Oh, man, it's again, that's everyone else's expectations, right? I expected to win. Obviously, people are proud of how that went, but I expected to go out there and win and dominate, and you know what I mean? And again, it was good. Obviously, still proud of myself. Still proved a lot of people wrong, right? But I mean, I didn't get my hand raised. So again, I'm going to be hard on myself. I'll watch the fight back, and maybe they'll make me feel a little bit better. But yeah, it sucks.
Going off.
Alex, just over here, man. I'm just wondering, did you get a chance to say anything to Islam or his team after words in the back when you were in the back or anything?
Oh man, like we're both respectful dudes. I'm a respectful dude. I went over there, said, congratulated him. Obviously I think they really thought that I was going to be a walk in the park. So they were like, yeah, shocked faces. But I mean, again, I expected them to be shocked. I expected to see his face like I did out there. And yeah, I just wish I got my hand raised, man.
Just
last thing, Alex, to end it kind of on a high. The walkout was one of the greatest things I've ever seen, covering combat sports. Were you able to embrace that moment for what it was, or were you so dialed in that
No, like I've come to. If you remember me, the first time I was like fighting in Australia and all that type of stuff, I was always just. I'm the type of guy. I was just a competitor. Right now, I fucking love it all, mate. Like, you know what I mean? The build-ups, the entertainment side of thing. I get it. I get it now. I want the crowd to feel me. I want to feel the crowd. I fight best when I'm with that energy, when I'm a little emotional and stuff like that. And you've seen that in some of my last fights to really fire myself up. I do my best work there. So it was good. I definitely felt them. Yeah, it just, fuck, it could have been a moment, man. You know what I mean? Go there, imagine getting a big finish, prove them doubters wrong in Australia. Fuck, what a moment, Fuck! It's still a good moment anyway. Again, the support's been incredible. Shout out to everyone that's here, that supported the event, the pay-per-view, and shout out to everyone that was watching. And sorry to people that counted on me. Cheers.
Well, Jair, right in front, right here. I know you want the undisputed belt, and that's the interim belt right there in front of you. But I guess what are the emotions now that you are another Mexican champion up there on stage?
Even though I believe that I could do this in one stage of my life, it's almost like unbelievable at the same time. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to explain. You know, that I finally get to carry this belt around and call myself a champion. It's been a long journey. You know, I was talking to my coaches earlier on. And they say, okay, it's been a long time. It's been already 10 years since we started working, you know, and you know, this feels surrealistic. But you know, I'm really happy. You know, I'm super happy that I can have my family here with me for this special moment and in this special land. You know, that I always wanted to come here to Australia. The public was so amazing. The crowd was perfect, you know, and the people has been so nice to me and my family, and you know, I can't wait to come back here.
You said at Media Day there were a lot of bumps in the road just to get here to Australia. So given everything that happened leading up to this, where does this rank in terms of your career wins?
Can you repeat the question?
Given everything that you went through to get here to Australia, you know, you had to fly, you had to stay in, I think it was Bali, you said it for a long time, the other side of the world. Where does this just rank in terms of just the whole journey and everything in your career?
Well, it's just like, you know, whenever you get into the top of a mountain and then you get to the top, you still realize there is more. Exactly in that point right now. I just got here, used to realize there is more to come, and there is more places to go, you know, and this is, I don't want to say nothing, you know, because this is a lot for me. But compared to what one can do in this sport, this means just a little, you know. So I'm gonna keep pushing to accomplish more goals into this company, into my dream, and making my family, my country, and my friends feel proud of me.
And looking at this fight against Josh, did this play out as you thought? He seemed to land a couple hard punches in the first, and then you came out very aggressive in the second round.
Yeah, I worked with my coaches the same strategy as you saw in the fight. I worked with my training partners. We knew he was going to come hard. We knew he was going to move around and then try and sit down and land those hard punches. We talk about it in the interviews. He's so explosive. He's aggressive and quick. You know, I couldn't see that punch, you know, coming towards me, and all of a sudden I was out for a second, you know. And in the second round, it wasn't the first round when I hit him with the lever kick, and I saw him kind of like slowly start like slowing down. You know, I could see him like kind of struggling to the fight. I could land a couple good punches. He had a good cut in his face, and I was like, okay, just be relaxed and you'll get it. Don't get desperate. And then he landed that good punch, and coming out in that second round, I was saying to myself, you stay positive. You will get it. Don't get desperate, and everything is gonna be there. You just believe in yourself, and you know, I could get the W.
We saw your coach Izzy Martinez cage side after you got the belt, and he has long been saying that, you know, you're going to get the UFC championship at some point. So what was it like to finally, you know, go back there and see him with that championship?
I told him, hey, bro, it's been a long time, right? It should took me less time than this. It's like, no, everything is a journey. Everything is a journey, you know. And if you're in this point in your career right now, it's because he had to be like that. So, you know, for everybody it's different. For me, it was this way. And, you know, also Coach Mike and Coach Izzy, they've been putting a lot of work into this, you know, and many, many other people there, I don't know, here, they've been putting a lot of effort and work into making me who I am right now as an athlete and as a person. And I can thank all the people enough for all those days of hard work.
Then finally, I have to ask about Alex Volkanovski's performance in the main event. It was obviously a very close fight. He says he wants to drop back down and unify the belts. At what point do you start, you know, looking at that fight down the road and breaking down how to match up with Alex?
Yeah, I was looking at the fight. I couldn't really see that much of the fight. It was how it was going in between Islam and him, but it was a pretty good fight. As I could see, it's a pretty close fight. talking about his fight against me. I think he's quick. I think he's explosive, and he has a pretty good wrestling and jiu-jitsu defense. So I think the fight in between him and I will like stay standing up. So it will be like more of a striking fight. And everything comes down to who does it better in that day, who does a better strategy, and who's able to maintain the strategy if it's working, you know, and able to adjust if it's not working. And you know, I can see much about anything. You know, it's just a matter of who does it better that day.
Yeah. Tonight was the first time Alex has lost in the UFC, and in over 10 years. When you guys fight, do you think that's going to have a more motivated version of him, or do you think maybe you're catching him at the perfect time now? Because maybe, who knows, where his confidence will be at, where his mindset will be at, all those things.
Bro, he's fighting for the 155-pound division against Islam Makhachev. You know, he's not fighting like a nobody. Islam is tough. It's really tough. We have seen the Russian guys fighting in this company. They're super tough. And, you know, he was able to go in there, not only 5 rounds, but demonstrate that he's capable of also winning, you know, because the fight was pretty close. It was 3 rounds to 2. So I think he did a pretty good job. I just think the fight between him and I will be as it has to be. You know, he will be there 100%. I don't see why not. And I'll be there 100% as well. So you guys will have a pretty good fight.
Do you think you'll have to come back here and do the unifier here? Or we had Dave Shaw, the UFC executive, up there. I asked him about maybe doing it in Mexico, and he, you know, didn't dismiss it. So would that be your perfect world?
Yeah, that would be perfect. You know, I talked to Alexander Volkanovski in the past in Dallas. No, not that much with them, but with his manager. And he asked me, "Will you be able to go to Australia? Will you go to Australia?" I was like, "Yeah, why not? Yeah, of course I'll go." So I stick to my word, and I came here, won the interim title, and now I want to ask the UFC to take this belt, this championship fight, to Mexico City in September, whenever they open in the UFC Performance Institute, so we can do it there.
I don't know if you saw Alex's walkout tonight and how crazy that was, but is that something you dream of like what that could be like for you in Mexico?
I didn't really see him. You know, I was busy doing the interviews and some pictures and stuff, you know, and I wasn't able to see it, but I'm sure, I have no doubt that it was crazy for him, you know. All the people here, they're big fans, you know, and they are really supportive of their people, and I'm sure it was crazy, for sure.
You've had some bumps in the road on this journey, the losses to Edgar, Holloway. Was there any point that you thought like you might not get to this crowning moment that you're at now?
Yeah, those are the moments that I thought the most, you know, and those are like the demons that I talk in the interviews that you have to fight every single day of your life. The what ifs. What if I can't? What if I don't? Or what if this happens? Or what if, you know, and some of those things, they never became true, you know. So the only thing that you can do is live your life the best way possible, avoiding the most mistakes you can and doing the best you can, you know, and then stop thinking that much. You just live. And with that said, you know, I've been learning to fight my demons every single day and winning over them every time that I you know, think of situations like that.
And who's been the most instrumental in this journey for you?
Who?
Who's been probably the most motivating? Who's motivated you the most? Perhaps a coach, a family member to get you to this moment?
It's just a mix of everybody, you know. I can mention a single person, but of course my mom. My mom has my heart. She's a special part of my life. My brother as well, my little sister. My dad is a special part of my life, of course. But those 2 guys back there looking at me right now, my coaches, you know, they've been there for me regardless of my craziness, of what I decide to do. You know, they've been there for me for many years and putting a lot of trust and effort into this to become true. And I can thank them enough because they have seen me in my worst, they have seen me in my best, and you know, they know me like no many other people knows me. And have them here right now is amazing. I can thank my management team enough. I can thank my friend Marco enough for helping me out to get here, and it's just a mix of everybody. All my people back there at home. It's everybody. You have to kind of absorb the best energy from everybody and put the negative away. My friends, I know I'm rooting for me there. They were just calling me moments ago and look at the phone and they were just calling me, because they want to talk to me, and I'm sure they want to congratulate me and say, I'm sure what they're gonna say. I'm sure they're gonna say, we knew you're gonna become a champion one day. We told you this. We talk about it, and it's just been a long journey, of many people believing in me, but especially myself.
And can you talk about the love that Australia has had for you during this fight? They've really adopted and taken you in. When you walked out, Australia went wild for you. Have you felt that love throughout fight week?
If I have felt that before?
Just the love that Australia has for you. They've really kind of adopted you this fight week.
Yeah, that was crazy, because I was probably one of the contenders for the 145 title itself, and they knew it, and they even like that they were able to applaud me and cheer for me, and many people walk towards me in the street and ask me for pictures, and they didn't stop telling me how much good and luck they wish me, and I really love to be here, and not only that, I have friends from here that there's been a long time I didn't see. I was really happy to see them, and it's amazing. It's amazing to be here. It's the first experience that I have flying this long, and having my family here just makes it so special.
Thanks, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just towards right at the end there, after Josh submitted, you said something to him, and I was just wondering what you said to him.
Yeah. So this is a really important moment for us, right? Like I already said. And when I finished the triangle, I could see in his expression the desperation of like, fuck, I lose. I lose. It's like he saw his opportunity go away. But I just want to say to him, no. I told him, no. Hey, no, stop. Like, stop that thinking that you have right now. You're a warrior. You will overcome this. You got this. So the only thing that I can say to him, you're a warrior, brother. We find the way to wake up, to stand up every time we fall into the ground, and I'm sure you will do that. So stay strong, and I'm sure we'll see each other in the future again. So just keep being strong, brother.
What sort of bond do you make with someone when you're in the cage fighting them, even if you don't like them? It's a very unique situation, and how do you feel towards a person once you've been in that situation with them?
Can you repeat the question?
Being in the octagon and fighting someone is a very unique, it's actually quite intimate situation. So what can you say to the bond you build with someone once you've fought them?
I mean, there is not much that it can be said, only wishing the guy the best. Wishing everybody, your opponent, and the best. I'm the guy that likes to attack my opponents in many ways. Only when I'm fighting, I like to make this sport as clean as possible, out and in the cage. We can get to any direction you want. It's gonna be up to you how far you want to take it with me, because I'm able to do so as well. But I like to be easy on my opponents, friendly, and whenever I have to talk, is inside the cage and doing my job, and that's it. I don't see why talking or saying that much.
Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you. Hell yeah! Thank you, guys. I appreciate all of you.
Islam, obviously a very hard-fought victory. We can see the bumps and bruises on your eyes right there. So what are the emotions and the assessment of your performance now that it's over?
Doesn't matter how I won today, and now I'm not just champion, I'm best fighter in the world, and you know I am very happy.
Alex,
Now people gonna call me not just champ, best fighter in the world. This is my dream, and doesn't matter how I won, I'm very happy.
Alex was in here, and he said he might have underestimated your striking, but he thinks you might have also underestimated his wrestling. So when you were in there wrestling with him, was he better than you thought?
Honestly, I don't have planned before the fight wrestle all 5 rounds because I know he's short. I have reach longer than him. That's why I planning to try to. And I told all media I'm gonna try to knock him out. I landed many good punch, good knees, but this guy is so strong. And how he's strong? Because he's a best fighter in the world before, not now, before.
Were you talking back to him in there too? He said he was talking with you a lot when he had your back and when he was pushing you up against the fence.
He told, hey, let's do something, but I told him, hey, you grappler a lot. You say your wrestling grappler improve. Let's do something. Move if you can.
What did you make of the fans in attendance? We couldn't really hear when they read the judges' scorecards. When you entered, they obviously weren't in favor of you, but they were especially loud here in Australia.
But of course, the fans all waiting. I told when you remember when the official win, I told them, "Hey guys, sorry, but you guys all gonna upset," and they just upset. Now they don't have best fighter in the world.
And what do you want your next few fights to look like? Because obviously you were chasing this title, and then after the title, you're chasing number 1 pound for pound. What else is there to chase for you? Who else would you like to fight?
You know, now I'm best fighter, champion. Then I waiting. Call me.
And we saw a video of you on FaceTime with Khabib. What did he tell you?
He's so nervous, and he said, hey, why you don't do this? He said, hey, if you come to, and if you will was my corner, I can do this, but you didn't come.
And we also saw a video of you and Charles backstage. What did you guys tell each other?
Yeah, Charles have good fight. I think this announced or not, official or not, I don't know. But if he beat Benil, if UFC want to make this fight, I will be ready. You know, it was hard fight with Volkanovski because many things. I come from other country, like more than 13,000 kilometers from my country. I come with team, and time is changed, and we come to the arena early morning. You know, many things, but I don't prepare myself for easy fight. We fight for the, you know, not belt. We fight who is gonna be best fighter in the world. That's why it was hard fight.
Then last one for me. At the end of the fight, he was on top of you. We haven't really seen many fighters on top of you punching you. Was that maybe were you tired, or did he catch you off guard? Was his wrestling better?
Honestly, last round he landed good punch, and I don't know. I just go down like, and on my mind, I think I won 4 or 3 rounds, and just I don't want to do some like mistake. That's why I played a little bit there.
Салам алейкум. Поздравляю с победой. Если я не ошибаюсь, Хабиб сказал о том, что когда ты приедешь в Дагестан, вы поработаете над ошибками. Вот сейчас на холодную голову, какие ошибки ты, может быть, выявишь в своей игре, и что бы ты сделал по-другому, что ли?
Ну, знаешь, там много таких маленьких ошибок. Может, я ему дал чуть поработать в стойке, и у него такая необычная стойка, необычные там удары, не просто так же. Все просто сейчас такое обсуждение идет боя, как будто там все ожидали от меня просто легкой победы, как до этого, и бой получился не таким легким. И начались эти обсуждения. Но это же не с улицы, пацан, это лучший боец в мире был. Из-за этого такой тяжелый бой. И я полностью согласен с решением, я доволен, я от этого боя получу очень большую пользу.
Вот в Абу-Даби, когда ты дрался, у тебя на восстановление после взвешивания было около 30 часов. То есть в пятницу утром взвесился, в субботу вечером бой. Здесь получилось так, что в субботу утром взвесился, в воскресенье утром бой. Будешь ли ты в дальнейшем соглашаться на такие поединки вот с таким суточным интервалом?
Если честно, мы этот нюанс должны учесть, потому что, ну, если ты всю жизнь так восстанавливался, как, понял, утром взвесился, на следующий день вечером бой, а я здесь утром взвесился, и на следующее утро я уже был на арене. Вообще, это, у меня хоть чуть было время, последний бой. Тухугов приехал в 3 часа утра на арену. Ну, это я не знаю. Первый раз у него в жизни тоже так. Как человек после тяжелой весогонки, ну, как вообще спать лечь и в 3 часа утра на арену приехать? Очень тяжело.
Ислам, приветствую, с победой. Вот ты говоришь, что все ожидали от тебя легкого боя, ну, что ты легко выиграешь, но ты же сам говорил, что ты победишь легко Волконовский. Не пожалел ли ты с тех пор об этих словах, что вот...
Я что жалеть? Я честно я вам скажу, я знал, что это не будет легкая прогулка, потому что посмотрите его бои, он настоящий чемпион, он дерется до конца, до последней секунды. Как бы бой ни шел, он всегда прет. Я же его бои тоже смотрел, и я настраивался на тяжелый бой. И знаешь, так получилось, что тяжело бой пошел, и сейчас эти обсуждения. Ну, ничего страшного. Я показал, что и в стойке я могу драться. Все ждали от меня борьбу, что я буду только так с ним бороться. Ну, я решил попробовать и в стойке себя.
А удивился ли ты, когда в 5-м раунде Волконовский сам попытался перевести тебя в борьбу?
Ну, он все раунды какие-то действия делал, пытался повалить. Ну, видно, боролся пацан.
Islam. Apologies if you just answered this in Russian, but when Alex was in here, he said that he had heard from someone that you told your corner that you thought you lost and that you wanted a rematch with him. Is that true?
Who say I'm lost?
Alex said that he had heard you told a member of your team that you thought you lost and that you want to rematch him.
No, this is not true. I don't say that I'm a loser. I know, like, in my mind, when fight is finished, I know minimum I want 3 rounds. I don't say I'm lose nothing.
How big of a learning experience is tonight for you? Going the 5 rounds, you know, getting hurt, overcoming adversity, just all these things you can take away moving forward.
This is my first 5 round. It was crazy and big experience for me, and I'm very happy because fighters need to know like some hard fight, because from the fight, like easy fight, from like 1 or 2 rounds you not improve a lot, but from the 5 rounds I'm sure I improve a lot.
Would you be down for a rematch with Alex at some point? You know, he has to do his fight with Yair, but if he, you know, gets some wins and you're still the champion, would you want to do this again?
I never choose the opponent. When Dana call me, I will be ready.
What did you say to Craig Jones in the hockey?
I told him, hey, why you don't teach him like escape from the triangle from the back?
Ideally, when would you want to fight again? How many more times do you want to fight
I
this year?
just say, I'm waiting for the call. I'm a champion, best fighter in the world, just waiting. I never choose opponent, give me real contender.
Do you think Alex is still the second best fighter in the world now, behind you?
He's gonna be second now.
Thank you.
Ислам, поздравляю с победой.
Спасибо.
Скажи, а Хабиба не хватало сегодня в углу? Вот если сейчас.
Смотри, он позвонил и говорит сразу, когда спину забрал, почему не попытался наверх перейти. И я вот сейчас подумал, еще Волконовский уходил на эту сторону, почему я не подумал. Ну, такие подсказки нужны. 100% роль Хабиба в углу, она неоценима. Это человек, который знает много вещей.
Он не сказал, что, мол, на следующем бою я буду в твоем?
К сожалению, не сказал.
Если не секрет, с каким весом ты сегодня на бой выходил? Он был меньше, чем обычно, из-за того, что на полдня меньше восстанавливался?
Ну да, был меньше на пару килограмм. И... Ну, я думаю, даже видно было. Я утром встал и смотрю на тело, думаю, не так, еще до конца не восстановился. Но знаешь, это это сейчас как будто я же выиграл, я не отмазываюсь, ничего, ну, это играет большую роль. Для меня в плане восстановления, чем больше ты времени проводишь на восстановление, тем лучше.
Спасибо.
Islam. I just wanted to say, you mentioned all fight week about wanting to knock Alex out. Is there a reason that you've wanted to showcase your striking as much?
You know, I always believe my striking. I have good skills. I have like good coaches in my team, Coach Javier, Coach Muhammad, and all my corners. You know, they're best in the world. I know my skills. That's why I try to knock him out. But this guy is so strong. I landed many good punches, many good knees, but he still fighting. You know, I give him like big cut, but this guy is real champion.
And do you hear, the talk of Khabib's protege? Do you hear that, and do you feel like that this fight has helped you separate yourself from Khabib and to be on your own path?
People always say this because we're always training together, and I want to be, but I think Khabib is not just best fighter, not the champion. He's I don't know. For me, it's best guy in the world.
Islam. Sorry, just one more right here. There are some people out there who do feel Alex won this fight, including Nate Diaz, who tweeted, "Yeah, right, Islam got his ass whooped after the decision." What would you say to Nate and anyone else who thought you lost tonight?
Honestly, I don't want to talk about this guy. He's I don't know what he said. Maybe he smoked something and watched the fight.
Islam, one more in front of you. In a couple weeks from now, John Jones will be returning at heavyweight, and he was the #1 pound-for-pound fighter before he went on his break. If he wins the heavyweight championship of the world, it will be a conversation between you and him for #1. So why do you think you would deserve the #1 spot over him if he wins the heavyweight title?
Because you know why. John Jones is a great fighter, of course. He's the best, but last time he won like split decision, or he have always hard fight, but I don't know. I don't think after this fight he's gonna be best, because I not just why I am best right now, because I beat best fighter in the